2 years ago, prominent Hollywood therapist Amie Harwick was found fatally injured beneath her bedroom balcony. She died just hours after Valentine's Day. A former boyfriend has been charged with her death. On this week's 48 Hours, Harwick's former fiancé, Drew Carey, gives his first extensive TV interview about unexpected love and unbearable loss. Erin Moriarty reports.
In the hours just after Valentine's Day in 2020, Drew Carey's former fiancée, Amie Harwick, a Hollywood therapist, lost her life.
Obviously really beautiful. Like, she was smart. She had a PhD, master's degree. She cared so much about helping people. That was her life's purpose.
Drew and Amie met in 2017.
I felt so hard for her.
And a year later, to mark Valentine's Day, he shared news of their engagement.
My brand new lovely fiancée, Amie.
Still, like many Hollywood romances, theirs didn't last, and they broke up and fell out of touch. And then, out of the blue, just 2 days before her death, Amie reached out.
I got a text from her and would love to get together with you and talk. And I said, yeah, I would love to do that. I love you.
Are you sad you never got that chance?
I never got it. I never got a chance to do it.
On the last night of her life, Valentine's Day, Amie was out with friends and took these photos. Not long after, police found Amie lying below her bedroom balcony, fighting to breathe. There were deep marks on her neck, signs that she had been strangled. Inside, blood on a door, and on the balcony, a syringe like this one, containing a liquid that lab tests later revealed to be nicotine, which can be a lethal poison. Amie died on February 15th at 3:26 a.m. Amie's friend, Robert Koshland.
I would say it was like the sun was ripped from the sky.
Koshland reached out to Drew Carey.
And I just started crying, really bad.
Koshland says he instantly knew who might have done this to Amie, an ex-boyfriend, Gareth Pursehouse, whom Amie had reported for assaulting her before they broke up in 2012. She feared he was stalking her.
She literally said, if anything ever happens to me, it's Gareth.
Purshouse's DNA was found on Amie's fingernails and in her home. He was charged with her murder. Pursehouse has pleaded not guilty. Drew Carey says he's grateful for that last text exchange with Amie. And she did love you, because that's what I've heard.
And that's that's the big solace I get from it, is that she loved me, and I'm glad I could get that message to her before she died.
And Erin is here to talk about this. It's a fascinating story. First of all, who is Gareth Pursehouse?
Well, he's a photographer and he's a software engineer. But I want to point out that he's not just an ex-boyfriend, he is an ex-boyfriend. He was someone in her past. There was a history of violence. She had obtained 2 restraining orders against him, but they broke up in 2012. She had not seen him for 8 years, and then she had a chance encounter a month before she died. And that's where there's definitely evidence of an obsession, because he goes crazy, he's yelling at her, and he is quoting verbatim from texts that she had sent him 8 years earlier.
Oh, she probably didn't even remember the stuff that she had texted.
She didn't. And later on that night, and this will be part of the evidence at the trial, she wrote a memo to herself saying, I'm afraid of him. I really fear he's been obsessed with me all this time. I don't know if at that point she knew quite what a danger he was, but it looked like she was preparing for possibly another restraining order.
So, most people are going to know Drew Carey as the host of CBS's The Price is Right. Affable, funny guy. We're seeing him very differently here. And it's obvious that this is a painful thing for him to talk about, but he wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, he has not spoken much publicly about her until now. And I think there's a lot of reasons. He and most of Amie's friends found it difficult to lose her. She was an extraordinary woman. And when you see our hour, you will realize that she's one of those people that I wished when I was learning about her that I had known her. But she also helped women. And so they are looking at this anniversary of her death as a way of looking at intimate partner stalking, the dangers of it, and particularly this weekend, because believe it or not, Valentine's Day can be a trigger in a relationship. And in fact, they believe it was a trigger in Amie Harwick's death.
Wow. So where does the case stand today, and will he face trial?
Well, at this moment, he will face trial. He has pleaded not guilty. He is not charged with stalking. He's charged with murder and lying in wait. It looks like there could be a trial as early as this year. There will be another hearing at the end of this month, so we'll know more then.
What's the deal with the syringe with nicotine in it?
I know, that is a fascinating
was it even
detail.
used?
Well, no, as far as it certainly was a cause of her death. But what's interesting about it is that nicotine, when it's injected, it can be a lethal poison. And so if, in fact, the investigators can prove that her assailant brought her into the house, then that could be used as intent. He didn't come in to talk to her if he was coming in with a syringe of nicotine. So if they can connect it to him, that can definitely be evidence of intent.
Wow.
Fascinating story. I told you earlier this morning that I was super intrigued by it because of what you said, Erin, the fact that, you know, when I first started to read about your story, I thought, oh, well, this is an ex-boyfriend, the last guy she dated.
No.
And then I saw your piece and it was 2012 and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and he hadn't gotten over it, obviously.
Well, there are a lot of red flags, and so hopefully people will see what happened and not ignore it. Sometimes people think when someone's obsessed with you that it's a compliment. It is not a compliment.
Right, it's such a good point, Erin. Thank you.
Erin, thank you as always.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Be sure to check out this 48 Hours episode on your local CBS station and Paramount Plus tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can also stream it right here on CBS News Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.